social media, why can't people make money? You know, recently I heard a nurse got fired because somebody found her OnlyFans site.
Which is bullshit.
It's outside of work. Whose business is that? She's paying off student loans.
You were looking her up.
Too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Pervert patient.
And what does that have to do with the actual business?
I have a lot of
unless you're
pervert
doing
patients.
some real, like, off-the-wall type
activities. It does not change how you take care of your patient.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think it was totally bogus. People could do whatever they want with their sexuality, and that's absurd.
That sounds like somebody went there purposely to find, like, how does that even happen? Like,
yeah, and that had to be the case, right? Yeah. Someone had to.
Now, I do disagree with the fact that she was in her scrubs in work and did a photo.
Okay.
Okay, but was there a name tag that showed where she worked, or was it just scrubs?
No, but it was her scrubs. She did have her name tag, but you couldn't see it. So that's the problem.
Sure.
I didn't see that photo until after they had said it, and then I was like, oh, girl, you can't do it at work.
Well, didn't we talk about this last time where there was a teacher and the principal found her? But that means he must have been looking for her.
And as long as, I get it. If you in the uniform of the job or something, I get that because now you
can go home and wear different color scrubs and do your thing as a nurse.
Yeah.
But you don't have to wear your company colors.
Now I'm like, with your girl, but no.
So that's the only part where I'm like,
I'm saying.
Because, even my corporation, I mean, you can't even have funky colored hair.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of funky colored hair, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode of Escaping Podcast.
The best podcast in Colorado Springs when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and everything in between.
And by everything in between, he means the time it takes to mutate an animal or a bacteria into something insidious. This is part 1 of our Spooky October.
Spooktober.
That's right.
I thought you said we can't say spook.
He can say spook.
And it's Spooktober.
Same way I can say a word that I'm not going to say on this show because.
You said chink last time.
Yeah, because there's glitches in my armor.
I am your host, Daniel Rojas, here for part 1 of our Spooktober. Ooh, I don't like the way it sounds. Of our Spooky October series. This one we're talking about creatures of the night, creatures of the day, creatures in the twilight hours that come out to play. All the things insidious, scary, and terrifying, here to haunt your nightmares. I'm your host, Daniel Rojas, joined as always by...
Kels for show, a.k.a. Don't Feed Him Compliments After Midnight.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. You know what?
Sometimes they're good.
Sometimes they are good. And with us, back from the dead, she rises from the grave.
As always, Michelle.
The Korean vampiress herself.
Just stepping all over her intro.
We just edited
What was
out.
I?
A Korean vampiress.
Thank you.
That's the joke I was gonna make earlier about you, Tan. It's like, can your skin even take the sun? Because you're like kind of ghoulish.
It's hard, but I can.
You know, as scary as this stuff is, sometimes the interaction between you two is the stuff that keeps me up at night.
Oh, minorities coming together?
But yes, I am Michelle with no intro.
Yes, welcome. This is part 1, as I said. Welcome. No, well, I guess, okay. That's the thing. And that's the distinction before we get into it. Is Dracula a creature of the night, even though he's got his own agency?
Yes.
Okay, so he wouldn't fall into the whole slasher killer.
No.
He's a monster, literally.
Wow.
He's no longer human.
He's only a monster when he drinks, okay? So.
Blood?
No longer human.
The vodka.
Just because he still bangs humans doesn't mean that he's not a creature. He's still not human.
Wait, so that means they're
So then, man, I got some questions. So, Twilight.
Yo, so they what's his word? Necrophiliacs?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So all vampires are because they fucking
that's
what. Shit.
But is it necrophilia if you're also undead?
No.
Oh, okay, so one person has to still be alive.
Yeah.
But what about Bella?
Nice, though,
no. Bella's a necrophiliac.
Okay.
Could you imagine somebody having hot flashes and then their partner's like super cold?
Holy
thank
shit.
God.
Well, I mean, sometimes you need the warmth to balance out the cold.
Not talking from personal experience.
Of course not.
But it's not like fucking snow cone, right?
We don't know. We can't know. That's not for us. That's for the angels.
I would have to imagine that something's rushing down.
You don't have
there.
to imagine. Let me just tell you. Clean up. Talk about a sticky situation.
Icy situation.
So,
I see.
I'm gonna go and try ahead and get us back on topic here.
Word.
So, what are some of the more iconic creatures that you all know from the past? Like some of the ones that stand out and stand the test of time.
Well, for me in particular, one of my favorite as a kid, which used to scare the shit out of me, were
Klansmen.
Besides them, they're the real monsters. But was the Krites, more commonly known as Critters, in the 1986 movie.
They were kind of cute.
Yeah, they were cute until they showed your teeth and they rolled up on you like a nappy-headed Sonic the Hedgehog and ate the fuck out your ass. Then they had paralyzing quills that they shot out like a cracked out porcupine and shit. Like, yo. I'm like, yo, the motherfuckers were out. They were like,
it would have been racist if I saw one and I yelled that.
Yeah.
You nappy-headed porcupine.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't be mad at you, but you damn right. Look, they hide too. Their eyes all red and shit. Damn. They're like the space hood raccoons. Like, they're like so out there. But what's funny about the movie, I just found out about
raccoons.
I'm not hating on raccoons. They're cool. I wish they weren't rabid because they make adorable ass pets. Even though I don't know how people domesticate them things.
They're not all rabid.
Well, true that. But they all are raccoons. But that really didn't make any sense. But anyway, I found out after doing a little research that Cisco and Ebert, for all the young people listening out there, they were like the real life Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they were Rotten Tomatoes for before Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they were actually people that they gave movies thumbs up or thumbs down. Surprisingly, they gave this movie 2 thumbs up,
which was again for the younger listeners. That was almost unheard of. That happens once in a blue moon.
And I remember watching this movie as a kid. Like, this is cool, dumb. But even as a kid, I knew it wasn't like the greatest movie ever. But now realizing they gave this motherfucker 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
Wow.
But maybe, just maybe, this was one of those movies that hit that one bone, hit that back of the mouth taste where they're like, I don't know why I love it so much.
Because it crossed a lot of genres. You had the sci-fi, you had the horror, but you also had the action adventure and the comedy.
You had the adorableness.
Yeah.
So Michelle,
till it wasn't.
What are some that stick out for you?
For me, it was Hellraiser, and his they're not goons. What are they called?
Ghouls?
Cenobites.
Yeah.
Not Cinnabons.
Oh.
But Cenobites. And the Cenobites were...
Cinnabons?
Cinnaburns. No.
In hell.
The Cenobites were like an angel to some, a demon to others.
Yeah.
Even Shirley says that to Abed after he talks about Nick Cage.
For me, it's is Pinhead a creature? I think so, because now he's demonic. He lives in this labyrinth, and that's his world.
Oh, like David Bowie.
Yeah, I watched this movie when I was 10. Kudos to my parents. But it was a great film. And it's one of those films that always stuck with me, especially, we'll get into it, but, Chatter Teeth.
I still can't watch any of those movies to this day.
And then there was what was it?
What was it?
Time Walker.
What the fuck is a Time Walker?
So Time Walker was the film where so they get King Tut's coffin,
because it's always King Tut. It's never
why they always disturbing the black man where they sleep?
They I don't know. These genius students were let's just do. Okay. What happened?
Like I said before, I almost died 5 times a week swallowing my own saliva. That was number 1 of the week.
Okay. Start again with we go to King Tut. Yeah. Okay, 3, 2.
It's King Tut's tomb, and this college gets it, and they immerse it in radiation because that's how 80s films are, and they're things went wrong
everywhere.
And so tons of radiation, and then all of a sudden King Tut later comes alive. He's this mummy walking around trying to get his crystals back.
So is that a euphemism? Is that his family jewels? Is that a So not only do they disrupt the sleeping black man, they rob him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Did your ancestor pay for those items before they took them?
Well, it turns out creature or alien or... I can't remember.
That's the thing, though, right? If it's a reanimated dead person, I'd say that immediately goes to creature.
Yeah.
Right? Zombies are creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I remember the guys that were dating the girls, and they were trying to give them the crystals, and they were like, she's gonna love this if you give it to her.
Oh yeah.
And it's not even set in anything, it's just a random crystal, and they're all
literally just there.
Is it glowing at least?
It starts to later when the creature or alien or whatever he is around.
See, and everyone's like, oh yeah, wear it as a necklace. No, I'd say I'm more of a bracelet kind of guy, you know? Yeah, jingle jangle, I came here to finagle.
Oh, that's a movie that's coming out.
And
too.
I'm like,
I saw that.
I'm sorry, you brought me a loose stone to do what?
Shove it up your ass. I want to watch you shove it up your ass.
You're going to have enlightenment.
Talk about hitting rock bottom.
Okay. So for me, one of the iconic ones, and I don't know, if it really works with the Halloween trope as much, but Gremlins.
Yes.
I love Gremlins.
Yeah, because the Mogwai, which also there is a music group called Mogwai, and they do just instrumental like drums and guitars, and it's fantastic. But these creatures, one, should not have been sold. That little kid at the beginning fucked up. He was like, my grandpa, he doesn't know, he's not with it. Maybe you respect your fucking elders.
Yeah.
And when they say, don't sell this little thing, you listen.
Exactly. But also, I found out that Mogwai loosely translates in Cantonese to demon.
Yeah. Chichu, chichu.
I have like a personal connection to that film because of who everybody said I remind them of.
Gizmo?
Oh, Gizmo.
No.
Oh, it's not. Oh, the girl. Oh, word.
What was her name?
Shit.
Her name was not shit.
No, not shit. It's the silent
Baby
E.
cats.
There it is.
For a whole year, everywhere where I went, a waiter would say it, a waitress would say it, people I worked with, and I was like, are you kidding me? And they were like, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, coming out of the pool, and I was like, okay.
And I'm assuming they were older than you.
Yeah. So
Nasty.
Hold
So they
on.
already envision you top.
That's what I'm saying. We have to understand that. They're saying that because they're imagining you coming out of the water, just
Yeah, because
water
this was
dripping
since
off
I
the
was a
titty.
teenager,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for saying water dripping off a titty and then hearing that you were a teenager. I didn't mean to.
Even now,
We
mean,
don't touch kids.
We don't touch kids, but we all take baths. So.
yeah. Even now I hear it. But yeah, she was in Gremlins, and oh my god, I love Gizmo.
Yes.
Gizmo was great.
It's fucking adorable, man.
But like we all kind of know, just because one person is cool doesn't mean you can bring their whole fucking family along.
Yeah.
True that.
Because what happens when the family shows up?
They wear red lipstick. The one that did.
That's Gremlins too.
Yeah, that's the 90s.
And that's
Sorry.
That's no. It's
Cut me out.
Gremlins too. And there was that Key
New
and Peele
batch.
skit where they're like, everyone gets a gremlin. Little nerdy boy, here's your gremlin.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, I thought it was a. Yeah.
But the thing that I loved about that was the whole it's cute until it isn't.
They give you very strict guidelines, like don't feed after midnight, don't get them wet, and try to avoid sunlight too.
Yeah,
'cause
don't
they
say
really-
the N word around them.
Exactly.
Give him some food.
Give them some food before midnight.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets stupid. Do time zones exist?
know. It is an illusion.
If they got it from China, when is after midnight?
They can feel the solar system.
See, that's what I was about to say too.
Okay, so it is the rotation of the
I
Earth.
really don't think the director thought that far, but it's fine.
Nobody ever does. It really doesn't make
It
sense.
was. They can sense it.
Like the food thing, cool. Wet, cool. Time.
Time's a little wibbly wobbly.
Yeah.
Because there's even times where we take a nap, and then if it's in the middle of the day, and then you wake up and then you think it's 6 the next day.
I don't have a phone right now, but I do have an alarm clock, and
Yeah.
I still play roulette with it, where I take a nap, I don't set an alarm,
Yeah.
and I don't have anything going on. So I wake up and it's dark, and I'm like, okay, was it dark when I took a nap?
Is this still night?
I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am.
Exactly. So how do the gremlins know?
Well, I'm assuming if they don't see the sun, it is night. That's my.
I mean, but,
idea.
okay,
That's
but night has to work till a certain time, right?
maybe it's still like their
Also,
internal
what about
clock.
daylight savings time?
Oh, fuck
See,
that.
you
Such
got
a bogus theory.
that's the questions that I came to ask. I'm here to ask the hard-hitting questions, and I'm sick of those Mogwai hiding their ways, hiding their truths. I'm here for the truth.
Dan is behind the podium right
That's
now.
right.
Yo, if you could genetically engineer a human with Mogwai, never mind. But
Gremlins
word.
3,
Yo,
crossbreed.
the crossbreed. Yo, and then you could.
Okay, so
Could I get
here's a question I have for you guys.
perfect excuse to take a
Because
bath?
we're talking about all these creatures, and we've decided vampires, creatures,
Yes,
werewolves.
creatures.
Okay, so does that mean at one point Michael J. Fox stops being human and turns into a creature?
Yeah, that's Teen Wolf. We're saving that for the horror comedies.
Yeah, okay, but my question is, if he's a creature, should he be allowed to go to the same school?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what Descendants on Disney Channel is all about.
We're not getting into that.
I'm just saying, like, just because they're not human doesn't mean we can't treat them humanely.
Okay, I'll give you that.
It's X-Men.
So then, next question for
Just
you.
don't hump my leg. Yeah.
Go to your own bald man paralyzed school.
Yo, I'm just trying to live.
Some creatures, they don't have to live.
But then the thing, all right, there's a difference because his werewolf is specific because he's not always in wolf form. So if he's able to control it and stay human, cool. But also we see in the movie he does not, because sometimes he wolfs out. So I don't think that's a problem per se. But then again, you go to school with women and they do a little thing called menstruation. So I don't know if that affect his animalness and they'll just put him in attack mode. But if that's not the case, then let him be.
This isn't Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I'm just saying, no, werewolves have heightened sense of smell. If they smell this
Isn't
shit...
it back in that time the werewolves were only doing it on a full moon?
See, that's the thing, too. Not in Teen Wolf. He could change sporadically.
Okay.
But. Are we talking
Teen
about
Wolf.
Teen Wolf, the 80s movie, or Teen Wolf, the MTV series?
No, we're talking about the 80s. So
Okay, yes. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So, that's a tough one for me.
Same thing with vampires.
Okay, fair enough.
I know. Have you seen that meme when Edward is like sniffing the tampons?
No.
That is some...
Is that how he makes his tea? Like he just dips it in some hot water?
Probably.
That is some she's the man level shit.
Yeah.
Yo, she's the man.
Soaks it right up.
Underrated movie.
Yeah.
Underrated.
I get that he's changing sporadically, but he's still a creature, and we have to acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
But my question with that is, Goblin King, big man bulge, big man dick, big dick energy. Is he still a creature?
Yes.
Really?
I've never seen the movie, so I'm assuming yes. Since
You've
he's-
never
It's been
seen
so
Labyrinth.
long since I've
Yes.
seen Labyrinth, but I want to say yes.
So then why did he need a human baby?
to eat it. I'm assuming.
I think he was going to raise it as his own.
Oh, because he can't reproduce? Or they asexual?
Oh, he's trying to adopt.
Yeah.
You can have one that's not you, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carry on his
Yeah.
legacy. His legacy.
Okay, so even though he's a human-looking goblin, or is Goblin King a term that, like,
Yeah.
the kings and queens
So
of Narnia who are
it
human
can
roll
still
over everyone
have
else?
like, okay, so it's going to have some of the flaws of me,
Okay.
but mostly be human of that perfection. In his mind, the perfection of a human. And then be raised, but still have the succession of a goblin.
And isn't that just parenthood?
Yes.
Isn't that just raising?
Was the
Exactly.
baby was the baby Jennifer Connelly?
No, it was Jennifer Connelly's little brother that she's like,
Oh.
Goblin
Yeah.
King, come take my baby brother away. And then he's like, bet.
Okay.
He's like, shit, girl, I've been trying to adopt and I don't want a goblin.
I could
Yeah.
be the king of Goblin Dad.
Ow. And every time he shows up, there's just this massive bulge in his pants. Oh, he was the Goblin King indeed. Because you know he'd be Goblin.
I literally just made that joke.
He was kind of, he was super dreamy. Regardless whether it
If your
was
dreams are
masculine or
nightmares.
feminine, he had both. He was androgynous.
So talking about creatures that want, some kind of love, there's Swamp Thing. And Kelsey, can you tell me a little bit about the Wes Craven Swamp Thing from 1982?
Titties, swamp monsters, blood, cursing.
Ooh, get into
Directed
it.
by Wes Craven. And actually, it's my first introduction into Swamp Thing was the late 80s, early 90s cartoon, I believe. It used to be shown on USA. And I just love the intro because it's like Swamp Thing, you make my heart sing. It was a sample Wild Thing, which I didn't realize as a kid. I thought Wild Thing sampled Swamp Thing.
Sing it.
Swamp Thing, banana, banana, you make my heart sing, banana, banana, you make everything. I don't know if he said groovy or
Swamp Thing.
a Swamp Thing. And it's like, yeah, and I love that cartoon.
And that's also from
Are we gonna
like,
get sued for that?
Louie.
Yeah, and also fucking Hot Shots.
And
Not Hot Shots, my fault. Major League.
I'm gonna hit you guys with the dumbest one. When I was a kid in the church scene, we would sing kids songs, Christian songs. So they would just take famous songs, make them Christian.
You put Jesus into it.
Well, this one was Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, Pharaoh.
Yeah, but then once I were like, Swamp Thing has a movie. I was like, oh my god, Swamp Thing has a movie. Then I went to watch the movie. It's like, oh, this ain't my Swamp Thing.
Hashtag not my swamp thing. Get that trending, folks.
Why is that pink nipple in your mouth, bruh? Like, you totally in the swamp right now. This is nasty as hell. And Swamp Thing is cussing.
So she was having sex with him in the swamp?
Yeah, and he was ripping motherfuckers in half and shit. I think
Do you think the water was lukewarm or?
Oh, no, that shit was cold. After he uppercut an alligator too.
I was thinking it's more like warm.
I think he hit an alligator with like a backbreaker or some shit over the knee. Crack
went
that
full
hoe.
pain on him.
Yes, I'm like, oh shit, this is real. But yeah, I loved it.
Wes Craven is known for that though.
Right.
Over the top. What the fuck?
And did you all hear we're getting a Scream 5?
Yes, I did.
I cannot wait.
Is it supposed to be?
Cannot wait.
Is it supposed to be in the same continuity as the movie and the TV series?
TV series doesn't tie into the movie universe.
Word.
But it does have
The only way to get cast in Scream is if you have a phenomenal
acting ability.
No, screaming voice.
Not always, because David Arquette doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, he was in the. I almost said the role of the vacuum, but that was the
That's a scary movie. Yeah. He's not Officer Doofy.
The best version
I
of
told you not to interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room.
Classic. That's what happens when you let black people create. Because they took the Wayans brothers off. They didn't want to pay them. And guess what happened to the movies? The
third one was fun.
But not better.
But it wasn't better because the third one we all went to go see and still enjoyed, but there was something about it.
First and second Scream were good.
The scary movie. Are you talking about Scream?
Yeah.
Well, we were still talking about Scream.
Okay.
But no, the first two Screams, classic.
All four Screams are amazing.
Yeah, you have to have the Wayans brothers.
Listen.
I like some Haiti Panettiere and Kristen
You know what?
Bell.
Okay, hold on. It's time for a quick Daniel Talk. Hi, guys. Welcome to Daniel Talk, a podcast and a podcast. I am your host, Daniel Rojas, joined by...
Kels.
Hey, Kels. Happy to have you here. Our tech person, Michelle, is standing by, ready to let us know how our levels are.
Did you say the tech?
Yeah. So, Kelsey, talk to me about Scream for a second.
I'm sorry?
Talk to me about Scream for a second.
Well, that's the sound that your mouth normally makes by vocalizing a type of high-pitched frequency normally associated with fear, sometimes just to get a person's attention, maybe if they were far away from you.
So fucking good. I'm talking about Scream by Wes Craven.
Oh, my bad.
Today on Daniel Talks, we are going to go over real quick Screams 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, leading up to Scream 5. Scream 1, Sidney Prescott. Her mom's been dead for a long time. Her dad's a bit of an alcoholic. Who knows? I don't know. We don't really know about him quite yet.
He's a hard worker.
Yeah,
not in
her boyfriend is the killer. Okay, Scream 2. Yeah. Sidney survives. Her and Jamie Kennedy from the Kennedy Experience.
Oh, yeah. Malibu Most Wanted.
Malibu's Most Wanted. They go off to college. Timothy Oliphant is talking to a drama teacher saying, "Doesn't life imitate art? Aren't we supposed to just go out there? Video games don't make killers, do they?" But it turns out life does imitate art in the fact that they are in college and they are copycat killers because Billy, Sidney's boyfriend from the first one, her mom, and this new kid are the killers.
Then in the third one, I believe, it's the very meta, just like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, when it's like, yo, we making a movie about Freddy. Guess who's the monster? It's really Freddy.
And what do they call it? It's not Scream, it's Stab.
The
Stab movies.
And I'm mad at it. It worked.
So Sidney,
I think that was the one when what's her name? Courtney Cox had the worst bang cut ever.
Oh my God! Well, it was bad, but also the lady who was playing her in the movie playing her.
Yeah.
Yes.
They both had the worst bang cut.
Yes.
And what's most unrealistic about that whole movie was the fact that she actually got with Dave Arquette's character.
They were married for a long time.
I know, but in the movie, like, no way.
It makes sense.
The goofy dude and the hot Lois Lane wannabe reporter.
Dewey and Gale are a love story for the ages. But in that movie,
this ain't a My Chemical Romance song.
Off the grid. She's helping people on suicide hotlines. And one day she gets a call. "Sidney, what's your favorite scary movie, Sidney?"
He's back. They always come back.
Mm-hmm. So she comes back. They're on set of the movie. The guy who played Bud on The Cosby Show, he was also the token guy in Not Another Teen Movie.
Gotta have one.
He's in the movie.
I'm one.
Even he's like, "Oh, I'm the black guy here. I'm gonna die." He does.
Of course.
They get the killer. The killer turns out to be Sidney's long-lost brother. They kill him. He's dead. Scream 4, Sidney comes back. Her niece wants revenge, and this one is a new age with new hot teens. And thankfully they were played by people in their 20s, so it was okay.
Is Neve Campbell coming back?
She is coming back. Welcome home, Sidney. Everyone from the original cast who has survived will be back for this one. Okay. Thank you for joining us for Daniel Talks. Join us next time on our Slashers Talk, where we get more in depth on monsters. Okay, so the thing about this monster is I need motivation, right? Mm-hmm. Is it just an irradiated animal? Is it something from beyond the stars? Let's talk about the stuff. Does the stuff count?
It's a huge debate. Like I said, these people are eating these candy bars and they're beginning
ice cream and shit.
Consumed by it because it's in everything sweets and it takes over the...
And is that Lou Gossett Jr. in the movie?
And just for y'all out there listening, the stuff is not sugar. The stuff is actually an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, sorry. It's a 1980s film.
My question is, does bacteria like that count?
I think so. It's still a creature.
Really?
I just didn't know if that's what I put it together originally. But yeah, I mean, I guess because like I said, like in Leviathan they found this like abandoned ship from Russia and they drank the vodka.
Why is it always Russia?
Stop blaming the Russians.
Because they're closer to the North Pole, and that's where all the weird shit happens. So they always get hit. And Chernobyl.
You don't want to take the responsibility.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
You have tigers, you have bears, oh my. What is that we have?
But let's be honest for a second here, Michelle. If we found some random vodka from Russia, you and I are going to get a little twisted.
Yeah, I can't lie.
I fucks with vodka.
I'm saying, so we're all susceptible.
Exactly.
So of course they're susceptible.
Yeah. So they all get infected on the ship, and then it turns out to be this like rod-like creature in the vodka that
I'm sorry, did you
infects
say
them.
rod?
Rod.
Like
Yeah,
hot
hold
rod?
on. Can I get you to say rod a little slower?
The rod
The nozzle.
went into them.
It did.
Yeah.
In liquid form.
Yeah. And then it got the whole ship, infected. So, I mean, if we're talking about stuff and Leviathan, I mean, I guess it was through ingestion, but it could be the same thing, like a microorganism versus a bacteria, and then they're like, I don't know. So I guess, yeah, stuff is a creature.
Word.
Well,
Creatures are stuff.
that's the thing, right? Like, I guess my question is, because sometimes these creatures are cute. Sometimes it can be a fun comedy, which we're going to do a whole thing about, the 80s comedy, horror genre.
Sometimes it's funny to see people die.
And I don't want to get into the slashers, who I think we can classify as monsters. But as far as creatures go, what are some of the ones that you guys saw where, like, when you were a kid, or even if you saw an 80s movie now, you couldn't sleep for a little bit?
Well, for me, being me, one of the more underrated movie monsters from the 80s was Pumpkinhead.
Oh.
If y'all out there familiar with that film, you know what I'm talking about? If not,
Yeah.
scraggly ass jack-o'-lantern type figure. Before Slender Man, he was like the spaghetti built, wiry, tall, just like monster with a big ass pumpkin like.
I have to
head.
agree with you. As a little kid, that was pretty creepy.
Right. Well, and knowing that it dates back as far as it does, because in the movie they're like, Jebediah, get on over here, get out of here, fuel jump.
Yes.
So with Pumpkinhead, let's get into that for a second, because this is something that comes back that I don't want to say reaps the harvest, but does like and is it kind of an Avenger of like the slain?
Kind of like an evil Ghost Rider in a sense. Like it goes out to get justice for whoever gives them that tribute or the sacrifice to harm those that harm the people that harm the person that summoned it. So
right, and with this movie, it's classic trope. You got your teenagers who just want to fuck and ride their motorbikes.
Yes.
And what does that lead to? The death of a small backwoods child.
Exactly.
Oh, that small backwoods child was just trying to be cool and hang out with the kids. And we all know what that's like when you have those moments. You see the older kids.
The hip kids from the city.
Yeah. You're younger, but you want to prove, hey,
that's a
I'm
wild
cool.
I don't know about
I'm
cassettes.
one of you guys.
Exactly.
Right, but he wasn't. And they killed him by accident.
And what I like about the movie too that was interesting, like the father was mad at the teens for killing his son, so he summoned forth Pumpkinhead. But then once Pumpkinhead was out there actually killing everybody, he was like, "Oh shit!" He actually felt remorse because now what was done to him, he's doing to a whole nother family as well.
It perpetuates the cycle, I guess.
Yes.
And I guess that's one of the lessons. The real monster is the pain that we give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with Pumpkinhead, what about Pumpkinhead messed you up?
it was just being a kid and seeing that monstrosity of a figure going after people and devouring them in the way that he did, and just being a kid, like I said, with an overactive imagination who also is a lucid dreamer. So that fucked me up internally at night. Like, it was just hard for me to sleep. And it's just one of those other things too. Like, your parents tell you, like, all right, you can sit here and watch this shit if you want to, but don't come in my room crying because your little ass is too scared. And my little ass had to sit there with my lights on. But they're like, nope, turn them lights on because you don't pay no bills. Now you're going to have to sit there with your demons. Yeah. And I had to.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So, what about you, Michelle? What did it for you?
Mine would have to be the Cenobites of Hellraiser because, I mean, I think I was like 9 or 10 when I watched it. And so the first one, yeah, it was creepy. But it was the second one for me. And then they went into the labyrinth. And then you start to see, and you see the Leviathan. That's the one that's turning them into the Cenobites. But there was always one, and I don't know if she's a female or I think she's a female character, but she had her mouth like fish hooked back.
Yes.
And then she would do the chatter. Yes. Every time she came to you, she would do that. Yes. Yes. It was that chatter. And the one with the disc through his neck.
Oh, so the disc in the neck one? I don't know why that would mess me up. Because I'm like, take it out. Take it out, fix yourself. Take it out, fix yourself.
But it was just, that's how they were made. Once the Leviathan got a hold of you, you were now the demon of his creation.
Well, and the thing with Cenobites is, like Shirley from Community says to Abed, Nicolas Cage is like a Cenobite. He's an angel to some, a demon to others, much like Pinhead.
Yeah.
Now, with Pinhead, what's his whole fucking deal?
Yeah.
Because does he have like an origin or in the movies?
Well, when a mommy Cenobite and a daddy Cenobite.
He does have an origin, and he was a Nazi soldier. And
this is my Pinhead. I'm here to kill the people.
Yeah. So, that was his origin. You start to see it through photos that they found of him before he was Pinhead.
With the classic reveal, the way it is, where it's like, oh.
The photo.
Oh, my God.
So he died, then he became the Hellraiser?
Yeah, it was almost like you sold your soul because this puzzle that box. Everybody got was the puzzle box, and it would open to the labyrinth, technically.
Which, watching Cabin in the Woods, you see the one with all the blades on him, and he's got the puzzle.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, no.
You stole from Clive Barker. Yeah.
And also Clive Barker, great writer.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what I get for not watching those movies all the way through. But then again, that's what they get for making those movies scary as fuck. Because I couldn't sit to one.
So those were the ones that kind of bothered me. Was the Cenobites? There wasn't a lot that terrified me. I don't know what it is. Like, I've watched a ton of horror films since I was little.
Yeah, the one that messed me up. It's a whole thing, and we've talked about this, Kelsey. Was The Thing. Because when there's someone who's close to you who isn't who they're supposed to be, and they're able to play it off so well that you trust them. That is one of the most terrifying things. If you can't trust those
two-faced fuckers in the world.
Exactly. Maybe they're just having an off day. Maybe they didn't have their coffee.
Yeah.
Long day, dehydrated, hungover.
I'm not me unless I have my latte. Fuck off.
PMS.
Snickers. You're different when you're hungry.
But it's also one of those things with The Thing, because it starts off with the dog who's running across, the Arctic tundra. And you see the Russians who are like, kill it! Yeah. Kill it now! Kill it now! And they're like, goddamn Russians, trying to kill a dog. Here's my thing. And even after last night, having just watched The Omen again, like the original.
I love that one.
I fucking love Gregory Peck. But with that, those moments where you should just kill something, I don't understand why people hesitate. If you see a group from another military base trying to kill something that is running towards you, you know what you should probably do? Kill it.
Especially, I'm like, no offense, especially if it's not human. Kind of just let that shit just ride, because they might know what they're doing, and they're doing that shit for a reason.
They might know exactly what it is. And then later on, later on they did the prequel where it was the Russian base, and that movie ends with it turning into the dog and running towards the American
Was that the
base.
one that came out like in the 2000s?
Yeah. And it was still called The Thing.
Word. And the original had Kurt Russell in it, right?
Yeah, and Kurt Russell, you want to trust him, But also, the names of these characters in this fucking movie are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they're all like, as if the writer looked around the room and he's like, wash, clip. Your clip.
That's like Leviathan when he's like, 6-pack.
Wow. Was it because he was an alcoholic or was he really into fitness?
Yes. he gets just trashed and then goes and works out.
Yeah.
And then wakes up going, I feel great.
Go in the water. Yeah.
So, okay. Next question for you guys then. What are some of the ones that you think you would survive?
Would or would not?
Would. Because I wanted to talk about Pennywise because it was filmed in 89, came out in 90. And I don't know if we would count that. Would we count that?
We would totally count that.
We could, I guess.
Because that's one of those things, even with Freddy,
Yeah.
where there may be something
Book
in your
conception
past.
was before the 90s, so.
Well, and I wouldn't call Pennywise a slasher.
Yeah,
I'm not putting him
no.
He's a monster.
He is.
Now, Freddy,
He's a
I'm going to
space
put him a
turtle.
slasher.
No.
Yeah,
he's-
exactly.
He's a space spider.
He is a space spider. The space turtle
No.
is his enemy.
Yes.
But-
weird.
Oh, no, a whole fucking mythology on
So,
that.
who would I
space turtle?
survive out of even it?
Because in it, it's one of those things where I think, and we've talked about, there might be something in my past. There are doors that I don't need to open. There's stuff put in the vault, like Freddy, like Pennywise. If I forgot, you better not fucking call me.
Word.
I better not get a phone call from someone who I was friends with as a child saying, it's back. It's back. You remember?
Yeah, but he feeds off your fear, not just your past. So it would have to be something you absolutely fear. And
So
there's
he's going to
not
see
a
me
lot
not get
that
erections?
Yes.
There might be some things
But
where
you
I'm
are
just
the
like,
erection because you are a giant dick.
I want to say there's some things where I'm just like, I don't even give a fuck. You could bring it back. It's already done and over
The
with.
question is, which one would you survive?
Or, well, I
guess.
guess if we're talking about the thing, I have my go-to answer. I would survive because my black ass wouldn't be there in the first place.
Okay. So Kumail Nanjiani, one of my favorite comedians, he talked about this, where they were watching the thing, and his girlfriend at the end goes, "What would you do if like you were one of the last people and you had to blow everything up to save humanity?" And he says, "Well, let me stop you right there. I'm the guy who dies in the beginning. I think, oh, look, a dog, and I go to look for the dog, and I die. So that's it. Like, I start the movie, and I'm no longer
Really,
there.
my flight or flight survival instincts is always the flight. I'm getting the fuck out of any situation. If I can't personally control the situation or talk this shit to a level, nah, I'm out. I ain't got time to talk about shit. Whether it goes to ghostly possessions, demonic possessions, which we're going to talk about.
I think mine would be Hellraiser then.
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think you would survive Hellraiser?
Because you're not going to hand me a puzzle and ask me to solve it.
True that.
Tiffany was handed the box and was told, "Can you fix this?"
I'm like, no.
And she's all a psychiatric patient and she's all working with it. You can hand me a box and I'll be like, I don't even do these fucking Rubik's Cubes.
that's and that's
Don't
the thing.
hand me
I
this
would,
shit.
No, I would have a Rubik's Cube ready to be like, how many moves do you think it'll take me to finish this? An hour later, they're gonna be like, never mind.
Yeah.
For real.
Not even an hour later. I would be like, no.
Like,
I like puzzles that are flat on the...
Exactly. And where
I
did
ain't
you get this
doing
puzzle
that.
box from? Some antique shop?
Yeah.
That's been there for what, 50 years?
What
Dusty?
kind of
Hell
therapy
no.
session is this?
Is this German written on it? Latin? Hell no. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit. I know better. So therefore I do.
Would Freud approve of this? Puzzle boxes?
No.
No, because Freud always just talked about sex. So
Yo, but sex is a puzzle.
that's true.
It's
Not,
puzzling for
not
some people.
physically a puzzle, but
But then again, it could be very Quagmire-ish
I hate both.
in the situations you get into. I'm just saying, like, trying to figure out people's things when they don't even know
yeah.
what they like.
I
is a
can't
whole
teach you
mystery.
what you don't know.
Exactly. How do you like it when I do this? But you don't do this to you, so how am I supposed to know how to do that to you? I'm trying to make you happy, but you don't want to make yourself happy.
Do I need to back out?
Shit. I can't back in anymore, girl. That's not how this works. Like, I want to.
I would love to leave. I would love to leave.
This episode's turning into a hashtag Me Too episode.
Oh,
No, not me too, but me too.
Yeah.
So,
Like the number 2.
Group participation.
Oh, never mind. I'm backing out now.
okay, so with the ones that we've talked about, one, Labyrinth, I'm fine. Because you know what? At this point, 2020, take me.
Okay.
Man. And if I meet some fun-ass friends along the way...
Oh, so you want to go in the
I
labyrinth?
want to go in the Labyrinth. I'm going to stop
Wait,
for some
which
tea.
labyrinth?
I'm talking about from Labyrinth.
Oh, okay. I was
And
like,
you know
Pinheads?
No. I'm going to get to David Bowie after having some tea with this with the worm.
Okay.
I'm going to have some fun with my friends. We're going to, like, me and Ludo are going to go in.
And then
like,
you're going to sacrifice a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to live happily ever after.
What if that
with
child
my
is your
husband.
sibling?
No, here's the thing. Is it a sibling? I don't know at this point. I'm in a magic world. This
Okay.
might be an illusion.
Okay.
David Bowie, I can feel, I can touch, I can kiss.
So is there magic spells in this Labyrinth movie?
Magic dance. Yes, there are.
They're magic dancers? Like they create portals or shit, or they're like energy blasts?
When you ask questions like that, you remind me of the Babe. No one?
The pig?
No.
No, I hate police.
Oh.
Don't do that to me.
It's...
No.
That'll do.
That babe. Oh, I felt with that little nigga was adorable.
So...
Or like Wilbur from
I
Charlotte's Web.
would survive Labyrinth, I think. As far as the thing goes, same as Camille said, I'm dead. I'm one of the first 2 people dead. I'm completely dead. I make jokes. I go around and I'm like, this will be wild. And then the thing comes behind me and stabs me through the chest, and I'm just there screaming. Now I'm animatronic, and I'm a puppet, and they're like,
And then they give you that fake head that
That
you know is going to
fake
pop
head,
off
yeah,
after something's about to happen.
He starts like stretching like Arnold Schwarzenegger in, what is that? Yeah, that's the one.
Running Man?
No.
Or
Total Recall. Total
yeah.
Recall. Which I also wouldn't survive.
Word.
I'd be the 3-titted lady who gets shot.
I knew the 3-titty joke was about to come.
I
was about to say it,
know.
but then like, do I do the voice? I don't know.
I wouldn't survive the stuff because it was like an ice cream, which I eat all the time.
See, that's the thing.
That shit's in the new Popeye chicken sandwiches. That's why motherfuckers find each other
Come
because
again?
of the stuff.
Ice cream is in
The stuff.
The
No,
stuff is in
is
the
Pinhead
Popeye's
chicken sandwich.
That's why people was acting the
Ice
goddamn
cream is?
food.
No, the stuff.
The stuff was in ice cream. Yeah.
You don't listen.
Yeah.
You don't
Bacterias.
listen.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Sabine from the S.
I think
I still haven't had the sandwich, to be honest.
So
cool.
you would die in the stuff. I would survive because I have this thing where I get a sweet tooth maybe once every 4 or 5
Here's
months.
the thing: is it candy that was already prepackaged?
It's ice cream.
Yep. No, I'd be okay.
No, you wouldn't.
I know.
And then you'd be like, Dane, you gotta try this ice cream.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, Kels, we gotta kill her.
Yeah.
Kels, I'm sorry, we gotta kill her.
But I wouldn't even show symptoms at that point, and then you would be drunk, and you'd be like, okay.
I ain't killing nobody. I will help plan it.
I hate how right you are about that. Because I can see it. You'd be like, hey, let's do a couple shots real quick. Hey,
Yeah.
you wanna try this? And I'm like, all right.
Michelle seems fine. Vanilla's great.
It is. It's like
And then you ate it, and I'd be like, haha.
if mashed potatoes was a dessert. it'd
I
be
should do the
vanilla ice
evil
cream.
laugh.
Then the gravy would be the hot fudge.
The gravy would be the hot fuzz.
Yeah.
So,
You cheeky bastard.
before we get to the end, I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Which creature do you most empathize with?
Oh, it's easy for me.
Yeah.
The aliens from Aliens 2.
Talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm sleek, black, and deadly.
And it's actually not Aliens 2. It was just
Aliens.
Aliens.
Aliens 2 as in the sequel, but yes, you're absolutely
Toys,
correct.
stories.
Exactly. But no, definitely. Or the Predator. I'm a hunter.
So if I were to put those against each other, which would you choose? I guess what I'm asking is, in an Alien versus Predator situation.
Oh, I'd definitely be an alien because I spit that acid when I float.
See, I'd be a Predator because of the.
Yeah. I would be.
And I see how your
Pinhead.
mouth opens.
I would be Pinhead.
Word.
Okay, why do you empathize with Pinhead?
Humans
Complexion.
are so destructive, and humans are so. They're self-motivated.
This is true.
And that
very
is
true.
what Pinhead thrives off of. He needs your self-motivation, your selfishness, everything. And I think I definitely see it all the time, whether it be at work or
The
home.
folly of man.
And so I'm like, I could definitely empathize with him on why he wants to cause their destruction.
Okay. No, I get that.
Super dark, but yes.
But it makes a little sense. If I had to empathize with any of them, it's Gizmo, because I do want to eat after midnight, and I love getting wet.
He wasn't the creature, though.
He wasn't. So then the gremlins. Because
Yeah.
I'm eating after midnight and I'm getting wet.
Yeah.
Also,
And you like to cause mischief.
exactly. And if not him, then it would be Shaggy.
You would definitely be a gremlin.
Yeah.
Fuck
of
yeah, you
course.
would.
With a poncho.
If not him, I would be Shaggy from The Reluctant Werewolf. Because I didn't choose this and I'm still going to be snacking.
Yeah.
My best bud. So at that point, does Shaggy become a creature?
Only in wolf mode.
That's a little pick and choosy. That's a little Christian religion right there.
No, it's very Christian Bale.
I hate you.
Yeah. It's all about the memento.
I am about to quit this fucking show. All right.
Never.
So we're coming to the end here. My last question for both of you is, if you could create an 80s monster that would come back now, what would it be? Take your time.
80s.
80s. It had to be very 80s-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mine would be a humanoid of a porcelain doll.
Okay, explain that. Please get into it. Tell me the backstory and tell me how it does it, what it does.
Because they're in a Victorian home. It's haunted. This kid is obsessed with maybe this doll. But the mom was like, I keep hearing noises in the house. And she doesn't know that the doll is like now a humanoid of the porcelain doll and is like stomping around upstairs until she goes up there and then the porcelain doll eats her.
Okay.
Good, right?
What would you call your movie?
The whiteness.
It's everywhere so bland.
Oh, she called it the whiteness.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, Kelsey.
The porcelain doll.
So now, Kelsey, you can't use the whiteness as your...
Yo. Nigga, that's about to be my OnlyFans. Man. But for me, it would be called. All right, I don't know what the name of them, but long story short, it's gonna be called 3D, but it's gonna be 3 damned because it would be about 3D glasses that once you put them on, your biggest fears come through the TV.
Is that a creature?
Is that 80s?
It's no, but the glasses are the creature. So once you put it on, it affects your face and it transforms the person into the person that has to go out and make them watch said movie. So then, fast forward to now, 3D came back into fashion. So then you get a whole new group. Somebody blows them off, puts them on, and now they get transformed into the 3D. No, you put the glasses on, you become the creature. So now you're popping out of 3D films and shit, attacking people that watch it through 3D glasses.
Can I piggyback off that for a second?
Go ahead.
So you have the original 80s movie, right?
Yes.
You have one sole survivor, and he's like, I'm never putting these glasses on again. Flash forward to the reboot now, where it's their kid.
Exactly.
And their dad's like, oh, I know you're going off to college. I got some stuff upstairs. There's a box, if you need to sell any of it, it's all vintage. I don't need it. And he
like
takes
Jumanji.
it. And Jumanji. He takes it. And then him and his college buddies are like, oh, these are vintage.
And the only way they stopped it is because somebody was blind. And since they couldn't see, the monster had no effect on them.
For what it's worth, I think they see more than all of us. So
Stevie Wonder got a hold of the glasses.
Stevie Wonder's not blind.
Pretty superstitious. And in his no, that works because play Stevie Wonder right now with superstitious, but it'd be slowed down.
Holy.
Just like Get Out.
Yeah.
Writings on
Take the glasses off. That's how they get you. Will you man take the glasses off?
Oh my God! I think we gotta make this.
We're gonna go ahead and copyright that right now, Escaping Network, and we're gonna go ahead and make that when we get our network going a little more.
Yeah.
Put that in there, man, because we're making this.
We're making it.
Can we make a fake '80s version?
Yes.
Holy shit! And then we do the reboot.
Yes.
Holy shit!
That's what all of this is about.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all got my.
Now we gotta scratch my porcelain doll.
Guys, my nipples are.
Or we could just make that into a short story.
My nipples are hard as hell thinking about this. This is
Porcelain. The whiteness will be a short story.
the.
It's like Pixar, their short stories. It'll be the short story before the 3D-ness.
Can we do that with our movies? Short horror stories instead of like.
Yes.
We low-key kind of discussed this, but not as far as...
But this is good.
But
Yes.
we'll talk more.
You know what? We're getting off course. Yeah. Hey, thank you for listening.
What about
so
you, Danny?
far. For me...
Or did you just want to ride my back again?
No.
just want to say you got to ride me. That's all you want to do.
No. For me, it would be a pet that someone adopts. And the more that it's around the family, the more human-like it becomes. Until it starts to change and, like, start to walk bipedally. And they're like, okay.
It can walk its fucking self to the
Exactly.
bathroom.
They're like, this is kind of great.
Yeah.
But then the more it becomes human-like, the more it starts to take the appearance of one of the parents. Yeah.
Like a changeling.
And as it's changing, they're like, this isn't what's happening. Like, he ran off. And he's out there in the woods, and he changes into the mom or the dad and comes back and kills them. And the kid doesn't know until the very end.
Yeah. It's all cuddling the kid.
Oh, it's holding
baby,
them.
it's okay.
Holding them, but instead of kissing them, like a whole human would. No, it gives him a little lick like a dog would, and that's when the kid knows, and that's when the terror sets in. Oh. This is not my parent. This is
That's a good short story, too.
See?
We got this.
We got this. This is the end of the show. Michelle, Spooky October. I'm not going to say the other one again.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to Kelsey. Thank you. Next week we're doing part 2, and that's about slashers, killers, maulers, and
chainsaws.
Chainsaws. Yeah, ballers.
Creepy crawlers.
No, that was this week. Where can the people find you? What 80s movie would you like to plug?
Oh, 80s movies. Oh.
80s horror, we gotta say.
Yeah. I would have to say we have our crossover coming up. So we got our demonic films. So
we'll get into that later.
Yeah. People should check out, if we're talking about 80s, is The Changeling. And also, just in general, demonic films would be the Conjuring series. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me on Instagram as M. Lee Gideon. Facebook as Michelle Gideon. Otherwise, the Spotify and Google Play.
There you go. Kelsey, same question to you. Where can the people find you, and what 80s horror movie do you want to play?
Kelsey Show, Snapchat, Instagram, Kelsey DeAndre Greer on Facebook, of course, wherever you listen to this podcast. Also, where the caption's at as well. And as far as 80s movie, I would just like to plug Predator, 87, because...
Dylan, you son of a bitch!
Yes, get to the chopper! Because my favorite 80s action hero, or action star, Jean-Claude Van Damme, was originally the man behind the Predator head in the suit, quote unquote. But then they changed it because they wanted a more physically threatening alien to coincide with the bodybuilders of that movie, because initially they wanted the Predator to be more or less like a ninja in comparison to the big dudes with muscle and guns. They wanted a Predator that would be leaping around and kicking and shit. But then, I think maybe not a full month into shooting the film, it's like, all right, scratch that, we're getting a new actor. But yes, Predator, never could go wrong. Machine guns, an Indian, Native American person, aliens, word. Daniel, what about you, man?
For me, you can find me on Facebook, Daniel Rojas. Find me on Instagram, Blue Morpho, one word, where the O's are zeros. I'm not really posting on there as much, but I'm going to try and get back on it. I just need a little bit of content to put out there. For me, I have to plug one of my favorites, because the Goonies ain't shit compared to the Monster Squad. The Monster Squad is one of the fucking best movies ever, where kids team up with classic monsters from the older times. You got your werewolf, you got your Dracula, you got your Frankenstein, you got your mummy, and just do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen that movie, find it wherever you can, or just go down to your local entertainment.
It's super cheesy, but so entertaining.
It's so cheesy, and I fucking love it. And the Goonies is hot shit. So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Escaping Podcast. Make sure you let us know what your favorite 80s monster is. Let us know which one kept you up at night, and which one you'd like to snuggle down with. Yeah, baby. We will see you next week. Today we leave you with Upstate by Hello Mountain. We may have played this one before, but you know what? It's a great song, and we love boosting the people that we enjoy. So check them out, Hello Mountain. You're in for a treat, that's what I'll say. We love you. I'm going to put on my clothes now while still thinking about you. And remember, folks, even in these haunting times, even in the witching hour, there can only be one chum bucket.
Word. If you ever stuck in a labyrinth with a Goblin King, Pinhead, no matter how you feel about your fears, don't let them keep you entwined, enchained, or entangled. You can always break out, break free, and become an escapee. Stay uncanny, y'all.
Whatever's in you, I hope's not in how you'd see what troubles your mind, what's wrong with your body. 'Cause mother is tired, you look like her child. She can't get away till you move upstate, where I hope you stay. But if you go, you won't have your phone, and you'll be alone. You'll give up your home. But if you stay, won't give it all away. Just dissipate those fears, just don't disappear. And I hope you stay. Oh, please God, just stay. Frustration, and it settles in, as you've always been, as you've always been. And I take some blame